everybody. It's Tim with the Attitude for Gratitude podcast down here at 4026 Washington Avenue North. We're at Will Work for Recovery. We do the podcast every Friday night. We go live at 8 p.m. Sometimes we go a little earlier, but I will make those notifications if that's the case. We're on TikTok Live. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. And trying to break into some other platforms. But we are down here at Will Work for Recovery. We have meetings every night of the week at 7 p.m. On Wednesdays, we do a men's meeting and a separate women's meeting at 5 p.m. Come on down, do that hour meeting, hang out for some fellowship for an hour or so, and then we have the big meeting at 7 p.m. Every night of the week, there's a 7 p.m. meeting. Tuesdays, there's a Well-Bridie meeting. That's an Indigenous persons-based meeting where we do some spiritual readings and then share. Thursday night's more of a spiritual style meeting as well with Megan. Friday is a call-up meeting where you get a ticket and they call your number and you stand up and talk about what's been keeping you clean and sober. There's just all types of variety of recovery down here at Will Work for Recovery with the structured meeting every morning at 6:30 a.m. and on Sunday it's at 7 a.m. Other than that, like, this is a place that it's a resource center. It's an RCO. It's a recovery community organization. We have peer recovery specialists. We have multiple different avenues of recovery down here. We have a computer room with computer classes that have started, and they continually restart. So look into that. Speak with myself, Paul, Carolyn, anyone who's of service down here can kind of get you linked in. We've always got more things that come about. We got Chucky the Soap Man down here who's making soap by the bundles. Come on down and get some. If you haven't tried this soap, like, I implore you to give it a shot. Everyone who gets some always comes back for more. And Chuck's like, he's a godly man with the biggest heart of anyone I've ever met. He makes this soap and just hands it out. He does take donations, but basically I'm always watching him just hand soap out. So it's just, it's part of the different things that we do down here. Wednesday nights, there's a recovery podcast that they've started. It's called Rule 62 with a rotating type format of open door policy. Anyone can come in and share about their stories. And Friday nights, so the night of the podcast at 8:30, Big O started Recovery Okie. Like, there's just multiple things. And then Race has got the fire pit going all through the winter. He's built this big, huge, like, miraculous type fire pit with all these pallets around it. Just a lot of stuff happening down here. We got ping pong tables and foosball tables and prayer rooms and big monitors with big screen movies playing, all sorts of stuff. We have a full workout room. Come on down here. Check it out. 4026 Washington Avenue North. If you're struggling, please reach out. Down 988 Intergroup or come on down. Get ready. Buckle up for the show. We live today. We back. So I'm going to keep babbling on to make sure that we'll hear it, because the second... Yeah, we're good. All right. We're good. Welcome back to the Attitude for Gratitude podcast.
Yeah.
There we go. We got love in the house. As you can see, I did not back this up. All that you need to see is what you see right now is our main guest tonight, Dana, who's going to be sharing her experience, strength, and hope. Sorry if I repeat some of the stuff that was just in that long 3-minute commercial. You can tell your girl she can sit in here if she wants. She just walked by. She's like between what you can see in this door. Whatever. So, yes, I know the time's a little off. And just to reiterate how the Attitude for Gratitude is going is the first 2 Fridays for at least the whole summer. Kevin's doing the free-for-all down here, 4026 Washington Avenue North. And they still do the Recovery Okie every Friday night down here. And that's been going on till like midnight. So if you're just now popping in and hearing this, if you're in Duluth, you can make it down here in time tonight to get in on some Recovery Okie. And it's a blast. Plus, the weather's changed, so they're doing bonfires. This is a good spot to tell people to come to for some clean, sober fun. Just keep that in mind when you're hearing someone you love or someone you care about is like, there's nothing to do that I'm not going to go mess up. Like, down here is a spot where you can, someone will hold you accountable. You're not going to be down here drinking beer around the fire or rolling balls in the bathroom. I hope. Yeah, well, not physically.
I'm just kidding.
No. But you know what I'm saying? Like
By Josh.
Watch what I do.
told him
Boom,
to.
boom, boom. This is a place that it's a safe place to come to on a Friday night. So like keep that in mind. Down the road, if you whatever. But the big meeting nights, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays are the big meeting nights when there's tons of people here. But there still is meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays and Sundays. Other than that, like. There's some events coming up. I think there's this car. We got Gopher State next week. I believe it's next week, right?
No, it's next week.
Next week, Gopher State at the Doubletree, Bloomington Doubletree. Your host will not be there. All right, sorry. Here we go. I'm going to unmute everyone in the room. I'm going to back this camera up so you can see everyone. Everybody in the room getting funny.
Wow, it's that soon, huh?
Everybody in the room. Yeah, it's right over your shoulder.
From now?
Josh is
It's
one.
2
It
weekends.
is next weekend,
It's
isn't
2
it?
weekends.
It's
the last-
24th, 25th.
Don't I have a flyer?
But when is Labor or is it Labor or Memorial?
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day is the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah,
weekend
it's
it's on?
We're getting confused.
No,
It's
it's
a short thing. It's a short thing. So.
no. It's the end of the month because it's always on Memorial Day weekend.
Check this out. Watch this.
Yeah.
We all got $1 million answering devices. When is Gopher State this year?
Put some cash on it.
$20.
Oh, you're going to lose your money, bro. Gopher State Roundup, the 51st annual Roundup AA conference is scheduled for May 24th to the 22nd to the 24th. It will be held at the Doubletree by. Ah.
Did they give you $20?
All right, you guys. So check this out. We're about to get this show started. Let me read this though. Gopher State Roundup, the 51st annual AA conference with Al-Anon participation is scheduled for May 22nd through the 24th. It will be held at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotels in Bloomington. I know it usually is
It's
on the
usually is on
weekend of
Memorial
the,
Day,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever that next one. I mix them up too, Labor and Memorial.
Yeah.
So tonight we were advertising Hope and Dana on the show. The two girls are going to come in and share their stories. Hope is going to be getting rescheduled just because of circumstantial issues that the timelines didn't coincide where she was able to make it tonight, which it's all good. We'll get it rescheduled. So tonight Dana's holding down the fort and we're going to hear her story. I know you guys have seen her here 1 or 2 times on open mic, correct?
Yep.
But we just didn't have time to hear the whole story. So what we're going to do is move this camera up on Dana and talk to me, girl. I got a few opening questions for you. And they go like this. When's the first time? Do you remember the first time you came to Work for Recovery?
It was not sure.
I mean,
been
a
a
year
while.
ago, 2 years ago.
No.
About 9 months.
9 months ago. Okay. Can you explain do you remember the first time, like the feeling of the first time you came?
Nervous.
Really?
Yeah. It's not coming to Will Work is quite different. It's not structured as your normal NA or AA meeting. And they welcome the newcomer. It's really awesome. Paul gives out these little soldiers and just has everybody stand up so the older people that have been coming for a while can recognize the newcomers and make them feel welcome.
Nice. That's a good opener for this. So how long have you been sober and clean? What's your sober clean date? I see that beautiful emerald, that red, your medallion.
my year medallion?
Yeah.
I have been clean and sober for 1 year, 2 months, and 7 days. 23 hours, 34 minutes, and 55 seconds.
I didn't mean for the womp womp womp. What's that? Oh, yeah, I heard someone breathing. You can't breathe when you're here. No breathing. Yeah. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So, experience, strength, and hope. Tell me all about yourself. What it was like, why you got clean, and what it's been like since you've been clean. And I might do my best to not interrupt, but we have questions. It's interactive. So let's hear it, girl.
Well, I come from a family of addicts and alcoholics. My real mom is in Florida somewhere. I believe she's using. I don't have contact with her. My dad is a recovering alcoholic. He's got 20 plus years. I don't talk to him. I've got sisters. I've got 4 natural sisters, 2 step sisters, 2 step brothers, Two of my three of my sisters are all recovering addicts. There's only one that I talk to, and has my niece. And then I started using when I was 9, 10, and I started with meth with my mom. I wanted to see what she found. She was smoking this bubble, and I wanted to know what it was. And
At what age? 9? Okay. Keep coming.
And so I started smoking meth with my mom at the age of 9. I started drinking at 11, and that was just sneaking my mom's wine coolers or my uncle's beer when we'd go out to the farm and feed the pigs and the chickens. So, and then off and on, I moved frequently. I got clean for a little bit, did high school. I checked myself into mental health treatment because I was very suicidal and I was trying to kill myself on several times. And I ended up doing this mental health treatment, and I ended up meeting one of the counselors was a recovering addict who is from Minnesota. And he said that I was in the right place at the right time, because I met him and I felt very hopeless and helpless. And
This was after high school or
during high school.
Okay.
So I moved up my dad had a CHIPS petition case going on for me and my sister.
What's that, for custody?
Yep.
Okay.
And my dad moved to Minnesota in May of 97 with my grandma, my younger 2 sisters. I moved up in August 8th of 97 when we had the court hearing, and the judge looked at me and asked me, who do you want to stay with, or where do you want to go? And I looked at the judge and my dad's attorney, in between crying my eyes out because mom was never there. I wanted a relationship with her, but she was never there. So I looked at the judge and I'm like, well, my dad's 800 miles away. And I rang between calling him when he was at my aunt's house. I rung up an $800 phone bill calling him because mom would say she's going to do something and never show up. So I'd go lock myself in my bathroom, in my room, crying my eyes out, and staff would come get me to calm down. And then let's go call your dad.
Oh, this is while you were in the facility.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So then day of court, it was super exciting because I got to see my dad.
Oh, are you being serious though? Like, you were
Yes.
excited to see dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't get to see him before he left. So it was all excitement. I actually had a parent follow through on what they said they were going to do. So I went out to lunch, got to spend the day with dad, ended up meeting with the attorney and figuring out what was going to be said and how things were going to be for court. I remember being scared crapless to be in front of a judge and to talk. I start crying. My mom's sitting right there looking at me, not doing anything. My dad's attorney grabs a box of Kleenex and he's like, just breathe, Janet. Just tell the judge what you want to do. And I looked at the judge and I'm like, I can't be here if I'm not going to have a parent involved. I need a parent involved. I was 16 and I'm like, I want to go with my dad and my sisters and my grandma. So my dad, me, and my second oldest sister drove cross country from Nevada to Minnesota in 2.5 days. That was quite interesting.
Mhm.
Not really, but
Was
yeah.
this one of the first times you were with that part of your family that long? Like, this was the first connecting. So was it awkward or?
It was awkward because my family, we've never really had steady relationships or connections with each other. It was like dad and mom always worked. So with me being the oldest, I was the one that was raising my sisters, making sure they were getting off to school or they were getting fed or homework was done. So I never really had a quote unquote normal childhood.
Okay. No, keep her going. So
So-
you guys are on this long trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
I slept most of the way because it's boring and radio reception sucks
Mhm.
because you got all the mountains and you'll get a station for a little bit and then it'll go buzzing and
Mhm. And it's all hillbilly country music. That's all that's coming in.
yeah. And I'm not one for. I mean,
Nah.
I listen to country, but not
Right.
that much.
No, I get it.
So we moved up here. I started going to high school with my cousins, and that was okay. I ended up doing my sophomore year at Minnetonka, and then we ended up moving out of my aunt's house to Watertown, where I did my sophomore year over again because I missed a couple credits. So I ended up doing my sophomore year at Watertown, and then my junior year. Then I moved again. This was about 17, 18. I ended up being I put myself into an adult foster home and started going to Glencoe. And then I graduated from Glencoe, had my diploma withheld because with me being on an independent education IEP, I could do free schooling until I was 21, 22. So I did that, ended up moving out, going to another foster home in Lakeville, and started going to Dakota Tech / TESA, which is a school program that works with adults with disabilities and have their diplomas withheld and special needs. I did that. I graduated. I was student speaker for that. And then I moved again. I got my own place, started hanging out with the wrong people, and started back into doing meth and having people in and out of my house like it's a trap house. Everybody knew I was high. I tried lying about it, trying to hide it, but everybody
we
could
do.
tell because every time I would rearrange my living room, everybody would know I'd be high.
You're out there
Because I would
tweaking.
be constantly switching it around between doing puzzles all night to rearranging.
Just tweaking.
Yep,
Just tweaking. And what? Ty trying to help you like, no, I'm clean. I'm clean still.
yep.
Dana going a million miles a minute.
So I ended up I got a cat bite which got infected, which got me to really start looking at my recovery. I ended up having 5 different skin grafts on the lower part of my left leg. I almost lost my foot.
Would you get MRSA or something?
I got MRSA and I had RSV because I was in denial. And
Right.
it was not my drugs.
I know. That's me
It's
too.
not my drugs. I
No.
don't know what you guys are talking about. It's not
Yeah.
my drugs. It's just my body's not healing right.
No, I get surgery after surgery. I'm over there like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Knowing while I'm sitting there shooting dope. Knowing it. Well, you know.
Yep.
We know.
So the second I get kicked out of my place, I end up going, in between one of the hospital stays, they put me in a transition care unit. Ended up being in there. They started to get my leg to heal. I ended up walking out of there because the person I was with couldn't be there. So I ended up being homeless for a while, riding the green line and the blue line, which I suggest not doing for anybody.
The green and blue line have a big part in my story too. I'm serious. That was the last place I got high, was on the green. That's what I just used to ride the tracks, girl. Like, ooh, but keep going. Sorry, keep going.
That's exactly what we did. We wouldn't sleep, or if I ended up sleeping, the person I was with made sure nobody messed with me so that I could actually sleep. But it was like an hour here, an hour there. We'd have to get off, wait for
Right.
the train to get cleaned,
Mhm.
and then for it to start again. I do remember in between one of those times, we ended up falling asleep we went into the airport to one of the corridors so we could plug in our phones. And I remember we both fell asleep because we were doing meth and ketamine, and it was mixed. And we ended up falling asleep, not intending to, but we had some passerbyers had got a hold of airport security and
Concerned citizens.
Bloomington's finest. And they asked us what was going on, and we told them, and they're like, well, we have to trespass you for a year, but you can, go
Right.
your own way.
Keep it moving.
There was no legal issues. Then I ended up getting my old place back in Rosemont, started working at a gas station, and ended up stealing in between like 4 or 5 different times $400. I got my first misdemeanor. It was a misdemeanor because it was less than $500. If it would have been more, it would have been a felony. That then the cops had knocked on my door, and he's like, well, do you know what this is about? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I admit it. My drug use got the best of me. I was not making the right decisions. I was getting high at work, in the bathroom. Other people were getting high with me. So
you just broke it down and you were honest with the cop.
Yep. And
Right.
the cop's like, okay, that's cool. So I got no legal consequences.
Oh, really?
Me and the employer, we equally expressed the concern. I told them I was sorry, that it was the wrong thing for me to do. I should have just asked for help or,
Right.
whatever. But I voluntarily quit, never got trespassed.
Mhm.
I ended up, like I said, I got my first misdemeanor and ended up missing. Oh, I had to get checked into treatment within like 30 days. And it was a wait on where I was going to treatment. So they put a warrant out for my arrest. Oh, that was scary.
Mhm.
So I went to this little court thing where I tell the judge why I didn't get into treatment right away. And then he put me on house arrest for 30 days. And I was living out in Lakeville. That is the longest 30 days of my life.
Mhm.
I could not go anywhere. I could not leave the house. I had to be right by this phone where they would call and they would check on me.
It was did they have a bracelet on, an ankle bracelet?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I hated it. I
Okay.
wanted to cut that off so many times, but
Mhm.
they're like, you'll just get more consequences.
Uh-huh.
Just deal with it. It's only 30 days. But I swear to God, it felt like a lifetime. And as soon as I got that thing off, I was out.
Gonzo.
Nobody seen me. I was hit and miss with everybody. It was like, okay, I'm free. Let's go do something. I don't care
But
where.
back to you were still using then.
No, I was
Oh.
sober.
You were sober. Okay.
And then I'm thinking I ended up moving out of my place in Lakeville. I ended up staying with my boyfriend's mom at the time to be her PCA because she had fell and broke her shoulder. And I was dealing with trying to get my social security and everything like that figured out, and ended up getting kicked out of there and ended up going to the place I'm in now. And
So wait. When did you decide to? I mean, in this story, when was the last time you used? Are we already at that?
it was off and on through this whole thing.
Oh, okay. So where you're at now, during this time of where you live now, you got clean at this place where you're
Yes.
at. Okay, so keep going. Sorry, I jumped the gun.
So I ended up getting a little bit of clean time. I ended up meeting up with some other people that I ended up doing a bunch of shady returns where they would go
Mhm.
steal stuff and I would go and return it so they
Yep.
could get the cash so they could go get the more drugs.
Oh yeah.
So me not thinking, oh yeah, I'll do it. So
Yeah,
I'm
you're the
going
face.
I'm going in, taking these people, the stolen merchandise into another store to try and get cash for it.
Right.
Still denying that I even had a drug problem.
Mm.
So I ended up doing treatment and I lost contact. That's where I was finally sick and tired of being sick and tired. I ended up one night sitting in Fairview, Burnsville's hospital I had a panic attack and had called my stepmom. And I ended up going and living with them for a little bit. And then I ended up, as soon as I got out of there, I ended up relapsing again. and then got a little bit of clean time. I had 6 years just not too long ago, and I had got sexually assaulted, and the person that was with the county attorney and the prosecutor said that if they would go to pursue it, that it would be more detrimental to me than them actually pursuing it.
Really?
So if there was a lot of anger and hostility there because they took the statement, did the whole rape kit and everything, and arrested him, but he didn't get no charges pressed against him, nothing. And I'm sitting there talking to the district attorney, and I'm like, you wonder why people
Right.
don't report this stuff. And this is a perfect example why. You basically sat here and told me being the
Victim.
that it doesn't matter, that it would look worse on me than him. But then you wonder why females don't report being raped or being involved with domestic abuse.
No, that's bogus. I'm sorry that's what happened to you.
So then I ended up just cutting everybody off. I ended up doing,
Mad at the world.
yep, I cut everybody off. Nobody comes to my house really that much anymore. I was just scared to open up that door for trust and to have people over when I get sexually assaulted or I get my stuff stolen.
Mm.
And
But
then-
like that, I mean, and I'm not making excuses for no one, but in that life of the using and them type of people too, them are the type of people that you got to worry about being at your house stealing your shit, right? Like
Yep.
that type of group. And I'm not saying, oh, well, them are the people you had around. That's why that happened. What I'm saying is like when we surround ourselves, when we're in that use, when we're in that, like that's what we're surrounded with is scumbags. Like you usually, Jesse Childs is saying he loves you. It's your people's. No, and I did that. We want the audience to hear stuff like that too. Like that comes with that lifestyle. Like more than likely, and don't take this wrong way, but more than likely, like you're clean and sober, hang out with clean and sober people. The odds of that happening aren't as great usually than when you're out there rolling bowls type people. You know what I mean? So you're just like, I'm cutting everyone off, and then what? You just start going to meetings now, and like what's taken place since you've gotten clean? Like, how does your life look?
Well, after my stuff got stolen and I got sexually assaulted, I have a very important person that works with me on a daily basis who got sick of seeing me depressed and just laying in bed, just feeling hopeless and depressed, and asked me to name 3 goals that I wanted to do. So I named going to school, getting my license, and volunteering. And
Is
she's
this
like,
a mutual friend? Do I know her?
mm-mm.
Okay, good enough. Keep going.
She's like, well, you want to go to school? Okay. So she pulls out her computer. We fill out the stuff for Minneapolis Community Technical College.
Mhm.
And I got accepted and I started going to school. And
We celebrate stuff like that. But yeah, go ahead, keep going.
I ended up feeling better about myself and actually starting to get into meetings after. In between getting accepted for school, I decided to start going to meetings. I go to 5 meetings a week. I was secretary at one of them, but I'm quite active within other people, just getting people to meetings or getting to meetings myself. I have a little over a year, and I would not change it for the world. I love my sobriety. I love the people I'm around. I love Will Work.
So what's the right now? All right, so now we're up to basically current days. What's been like the highlights for right now? Is it the being of service? Like tell me about something that's like brings you joy right now.
Being of service, and I ended up going to MINAC, which is NA's big version of Gopher State, and was scared to go out. Didn't have anybody to go with me, and I'm like, got a little bit of money. I'm like, I'm going to do something. I'm going to get a hotel room, and I went out and had fun at Minac. I
Nice.
loved it. It was fun. I suggest anybody, if they've never been to Minac or Gopher State, to go. It's an experience.
What is, you know what? Let's go into that a little bit. And Rob, you can pipe up too.
Yeah.
When it comes to Minac or Gopher State, like people that are listening, I know for a fact some people that are listening have never been to something like this, because we got people that listen that are family members of addicts and people that are thinking of getting into recovery. Explain what it is. Like, people don't understand what an outing of recovery is really. So like, what is it? What is Minac? What is Gopher State? What do you do? Is it just going there and it's one big meeting?
No, it's a full weekend. Like Minac was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They rent out a hotel for a amount of rooms for the activity. There's meetings all weekend. There's food. There's places that you can buy merch from, which is merchandise. I don't know. It's just a good way to get out and have some sober fun. I thought when I first got clean that life was going to be boring and not going to have any fun. And that's.
Tell me one story about Minac. Anything that you remember. A speaker or a thing you guys ate, went to go fellowship. Like, tell me something that you did at Minac.
I loved Minac. First of all, I got out of my comfort zone and got a room and had a blast with that. But then I ended up doing 2 of the readings at 2 of the meetings
in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people. And that got out of my comfort zone too. So.
Rob, have you ever spoken front at any of those? Have you spoke at a convention?
I spoke at ICUCNA.
Yeah, that's Inner City or
Inner City Unity Narcotics Anonymous.
Yeah, and that's usually was at the Doubletree by my house.
Doubletree, yeah.
St. Louis Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that wasn't that many people.
Oh, I mean, they're big one.
There was like what 20 people there when I spoke. Yeah.
Oh, was it one of the small breakout ones?
Yeah, well, it was just on step 4. It was a little workshop.
Yeah, I remember.
I think the biggest I ever spoke at was at SNL. But that was back when it was like, but I was only the
200 people.
I was only the 5-minute. I wasn't like, the main speaker or something.
Yeah, but no, it's a little different when you're sharing in front of 20 people versus
or 300. Yeah,
300.
You're like, oh yeah. But I mean, you know what, man? Like, I don't know if you. Here's all you got to do when you speak. All your job really is to reach one person. That's it, and the odds of that happening are pretty high. You know what I mean? So like, if you just think about it like that, it's really not that bad. You know what I mean? But when you start thinking like, well, what do I look like? Am I going to stutter? Am I going to say the right thing? Am I going to say the wrong thing? Blah, 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 blah. Your body can just go
once you're in your head.
So many places, man. You just think of it as like you're talking to yourself, because I mean, you are. Like we're addicts, we're alcoholics. Like we may not look the same or act the same, but we think the same. You know what I'm saying? So like somebody out there is going to relate to you, and it's going to save your life someday.
Young lady named Barbie said, "Say it with your chest, Rob."
Huh?
A young lady named Barbie. Yeah.
Like
say it with your chest.
Hang on, let me take my shirt off. Leave my shirt on.
You know what? Like, I have a question for you. When you're speaking in front of people, do you make eye contact with the audience?
Yeah, most definitely. You want to keep them engaged. I mean, but the thing is too, is like if you're gonna like, throw in some nonverbal communication, that keeps them engaged.
Like
what? You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Sometimes ask questions, but use your hands, point at stuff, be what is that, like eccentric, kind of like, so then that way they'll follow you better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you just go up there and you're just
not
like
monotone,
you don't move and you don't do any of that stuff. You know what I mean? You're not going to keep the crowd engaged. You know what I'm saying? And then
you love you, Rambo. Thank you.
And then you gotta and also you gotta keep them engaged. Asking questions. Hey, I know y'all are perfect, but y'all
right. That is a good one. Yeah.
Took a dump in the back of a squad car or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, just a random example. I don't think I ever.
Dana, never pooped in the back of a squad car.
No, I've only
been piss in the back of one.
Did you?
Yeah.
I've only sat in the back of a squad car, and that was due to my Lyft driver getting into an accident, and the cop took me and the boyfriend home at the time.
Oh, that was nice.
That's that's a pretty good story. What?
No,
I'm good. It's all good.
All right.
I just figured.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to speak last week or something it was up north at Brainerd at St. Francis Lutheran Church, whatever, but I didn't realize they were busting in a bunch of Teen Challenge people,
Oh,
like, and it ended up being like a SNL. Like,
dude, my buddy's in Teen Challenge, Brainerd.
I wonder. It was funny too because after someone came up to me, and was like, "Do you know Terry White?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just saw him last night at SNL speaking." And I was like, "How was the 5-minute speaker?" Oh, this girl had you did. He was going this blonde girl. It was Jess. She was 5 minutes speaking. He's over there piping up about her.
You're like, yeah, that's my girl, man. What's up?
I like
that
that.
to make
Like,
you feel good, man.
Before he got too
Yeah,
far
that's
into
her.
it, I was like, "Yeah, that's the girl I was just talking about, the one
Yeah.
that we're ever happy ever after girl."
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that. I wanted to ask you
Then
too.
you made eye contact with him. Never mind.
Well, no, because I look at people's foreheads. I still like when I've done SNL 2 times and
Yeah.
like looking at them big audiences, it ain't so hard, but like doing that, it's versus
Well, you
like
can't-
look at Rob. I'm looking you in
Can't
the
just
eyes
stare at
versus
people,
this.
though. Like then people
But
like,
when
get
you're-
freaked out.
I know,
'Cause
right?
You gotta like scan the crowd,
Yes.
right? You gotta scan, and then you gotta kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can't just like anything, don't show no fear. Don't let them see you
No.
sweat.
Well, no,
You know what I mean? And then like if you're not thinking about it, man, you're less likely to stutter. You're less likely to, do something. And I mean, here's the thing too, is that like if you go and you speak, like you're gonna bomb.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a time where you're gonna bomb.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've like there's been a few times where I was like, oh.
But
You know
I
what
think,
mean? It's
I
like
think
quiet.
what's
It's
real
like,
relevant,
I gotta go.
what Rob's saying, which is really relevant to keep in mind, is like one person.
That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. Like
Piece of cake.
if one person can relate to what I'm
Yep.
saying, because honestly, when I do get into a deep share and I'm sharing about something emotions, like, and I tell some like
Well,
at a
and
small
check
meeting,
this out. That got me my bike back, bro.
that's
You know what
I
I'm
was,
saying?
Yeah,
Like, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
dude, that's mind blowing. You know what I
you
mean? That
beat
was
me
the-
to the punch. That's
the
I
one
was
person I
yeah.
raced,
Yeah.
and I've had people come up to me that like I don't I don't particularly even know them. Like I'm in my head because like my memory is just
Right.
shot from burning all the brain cells, right? So like somebody would be like, oh man, there was a time 6 years ago where like we went up to fellowship, man. You said something that like really clicked, and I've been clean ever since. And it's
Mhm.
like, whoa, dude.
And it makes
Like
you how does
that.
that make you feel?
It's like, oh, it makes you feel like you did something.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or like that. Well, God did it, through me. But the thing is that like it makes you feel pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
well, good, man, because like we're dying out there, dude.
Uh-huh.
We're dying out there, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if that saved your life, like, dude, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm with it. Because I'm in my head, I'm like, well, in my head, I just met him 10 minutes ago.
Right.
But
Uh-huh.
what do I know? I saved their whole life, or something I said.
And
did,
you never,
know?
yeah, the trickle down effect is because I always think of this too, and someone else was on the show that said this. It's like that person you're talking about, like for all you know, like they because of that, they went home and they were nice to whoever in their household.
Yep.
And the person who they're normally an
Yep.
asshole to, all of a sudden made their day, and that person went out and instead of doing this, so and so live. The trickle down effect goes so far.
That's what my sponsor always says that too. Like
I think it was Finn who was saying that to me.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
'cause
Like
it does.
he's
It
like, you
does.
never understand the trick, the ripples that occur just
You
from
never
like
see
one
it.
good act.
Yeah, or like somebody changing their life, dude. Because anybody can get it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
the thing is anybody can get it.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like I used to get a kick out of it. Like when I'd see people that like I was in New Way with or whatever. And it was like, wow, you made it. Like yeah, well,
Thank
Hey,
you for
hey,
saying it that way.
you know
But
what?
yeah,
Hey, good thing it ain't up to you. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, and that's what I say to them every time. Good thing it ain't up to you, because it ain't.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? And like, and I don't get it. I don't take offense to it, because I mean, if I wasn't me and I was looking at me back then, I probably would have thought the same shit.
Nah, I
Like,
get
look
it.
at this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like rightfully so. But like, something changed and something happened and something clicked.
Trickle.
And it's been a long time since that, and I can't believe that, man. It doesn't feel like that long, but it is.
I know.
I just ran into somebody at a meeting that we went to last Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm going every week, right?
Yeah.
I ran into somebody that they came in the rooms, I think a year before me, so 2015. And I was talking with him, man, and it was like, it was cool, man, just catching up. And it was like, man, I can't believe it's been that long. Like it is, but it ain't, right? You know what I mean? But like, he's kind of got a similar path, like he's working at the airport, and he just had surgery and he's taking FMLA, and it was pretty cool, and then I told you about the one dude, like I couldn't stand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he texts me every day. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like it's actually one of the coolest things that I've actually been involved in recently. Because I was like early on, like I couldn't stand this guy, right? Like,
Right.
I thought he was an arrogant prick.
Yeah.
But come to realize, man, like it's just the way he talks. Like he just doesn't. I mean, kind of like you, but a little bit worse, right? Like at least you look a little friendly. He kind of looks like a prick when he says some shit.
Right. No.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, this motherfucker. right? You know, because and then he saves my contact in his phone, and it says Rob that's always late. Rob that comes in 10 minutes late. You know, and I'm sitting there listening to him like, and that was the moment that I was like, well, that's just the way this dude is.
To who he is.
You know what I mean? And like, but he texts me every day. I said, wishing you a great day. You know what I mean? And you know how long I mean, some people text me that stuff, but it's been a long time since, especially somebody with that amount of clean time. It reminds me that like that's what I need to do. That's what I need to do. I need to keep showing up, and I need to act like it's still fresh, and I need to act like it's new. You know, like I've been telling a lot of people that like I want to take the 0 away, right? So I want to go back to that first year,
Right.
You know, spiritually, not like, oh, I want to relapse and go backwards, you know, but that's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because like that was like, regardless of anything that's happened in my recovery, like that was the freest I ever felt. Was around 2 or 3 years. And why was that? Because I was sponsoring 10 people. I was going to, you know, I was everywhere all the time.
No relationship.
You know what I'm saying? Well, there was a couple, and those were even bad.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
and
right.
They broke my heart, but I was still on top of the world, right? You know what I mean? Like, because I would just focus on my recovery. Like anytime that, like, you know, a relationship would end, I would just find a new sponsee and just sponsor the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? And like, I mean, none of them made it, but I stayed clean.
You stayed clean.
Right?
That's the goal.
And so it's like I think about that, and it's like, because over time you start, well, I don't need to do this.
No,
I don't
you're right.
Do that. Well, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got a house. I got this. I got my mom. I got blah 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 blah. I got so many things.
We have excuse, just like
I know. Like I had the same things then,
and the only reason you have everything you have now
is because of recovery.
Tell them.
It's because of those things, right? And that's like, and I still find myself like lagging that, right? Because like I'll like, you know, come dip my toes in, you know, and then back out a little bit, and then, you know, because it's something that I need to overcome, but it's like, and I do want to, you know, and because like that's the freest I've ever felt, you know what I mean? But, you know, I will say this too, that like now I'm a lot less arrogant than I was then, you know, and now I don't really have much judgment for people. Like, I don't care what your story is. Like, if you decide that like you want to drink a beer every 6 months, that's fine. That's your story. If you want to use cannabis medically, then use cannabis medically, because I've been proven wrong there. And if you want to use your faith in God as your program, you can do that too. Because you know, my first 1, 2, 3 years, like I, you know, like
my first couple of years, there was no other way. It was
right, exactly.
You had to do
it, right? So it was like, and if you didn't do that, like you were doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? So like now it's just like, hey man, it's cool. You're here. You're alive.
I think that's one of the biggest gifts I've been given over this time, was coming to the realization for myself, because I was a judge in person, but because I had found something and it worked this way, so that's the only way. I used to be like, if you don't want it, it ain't gonna work. All these things, and like the best revelation I had was realizing like that's not my recovery.
Right.
Dude, like I can't have no weight on what you're doing. Well, if you ask me my opinion on the way you're doing your recovery, okay, I'll give you my opinion, but that's all it is.
Right.
It's just my opinion.
And the thing is like, and like the longer time goes on, like the less that I feel the need to like really even say anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, okay, you lied to this person and you cheated on that person and you did whatever. Okay, that's your deal.
Yeah.
What do I have to say about it? Nothing, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, your mom could have died. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's going on with you. Like, but the thing is like, who am I to throw the judgment out when I've done plenty of things I'm not so proud of in recovery. Right. You know what I mean? So,
and that's growth.
And that's the difference between Rob in year 1, 2, 3, and then Rob now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is that like I don't really have anything to say about. I mean, sometimes I do. Don't get me wrong. Like,
well, when we're BSing amongst, yeah, that's you know different though.
But like, if somebody's like, you know, they're struggling and you know they got a bad rep and like they got a stealing problem, you know, and they steal from some people, and I'm not going to treat them any less.
Right.
I'm not going to have my shit out in front of them, but I'm not going to treat them any less of a human being.
Right.
We're all human, and the thing is like the symptoms of our disease can always show up in many ways, right? You know, and sometimes, man, I'll tell you what, like I've got some problems in recovery that I didn't even have before. You know what I mean? I've developed new issues since I've been in recovery that I didn't even know I had, and I didn't even know it was possible. Right? So what do you do with that? Like, whoa, like man, I can't blame.
But I think the big thing is
I can't
now
blame it on the dope. I can't blame it on my childhood. I can't. You know what I mean?
But we can work on it. That's the difference. I think like you can look at self. You can work on it.
Yeah.
Me personally, I see the two different Robs I see is the one before spiritual experience, the one after.
Yeah.
Me personally, from what
Right.
I recognize,
Right.
I mean, because what was that? Was that year 5 or 6?
Year 6.
Yeah.
Year 6.
And you went through some heavy shit in the first 5 years.
Yeah.
Heavy shit.
yeah.
But then I think like what you went through in this last 5 years, in my mind, it's heavier.
Yeah.
With loss and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
and
yeah.
you walk through that
It's been
head
terrible.
tall.
It's been a
Yeah,
pain in
but
the ass. Yeah.
you walk through it like, bro,
yeah.
I don't know. And I know we got far out. I have a question for you. Came in.
Yeah.
Have you had any thoughts of relapse in this last 14, 15 months?
Yes.
Tell me about
And the
it.
reason I say that is because I started dating someone who was doing
Ooh.
treatment
Dating.
Yeah.
at North Star.
Relapse
So
is shit.
Hey, there's someone who just left the room that I get on them about that all the time. Like dating already?
Yeah. Relationship, relapse and shit. I love
Relapse
that.
and
Yeah,
shit. I
relapse
like
and
that.
shit,
But
yeah.
go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
but he ended up relapsing. I ended up finding needles in my house,
Right.
and I confronted him on
Who's
a
that Michael
Saturday
Graham?
because we had came and listened to someone do their walk and talk, and I had confronted him before, and he just played it off as it's they're old.
But let me get it back.
And you're looking at an addict and you're telling me that they're old. You're not going to be carrying around old needles.
No.
You're both
no.
you're bullshitting yourself, and
Yeah.
you think you're bullshitting me. It's not
Yeah.
gonna work. So he's disappeared. So after that, it was right before my year, so it was a
Mm.
little
PMS,
Yeah.
sketchy.
What is PMS, Rob?
pre-medallion syndrome.
Pre-medallion syndrome.
Yep.
You wear that shit proud.
I do.
I know.
I don't take it off.
No, think about it. You're how close to using over. I don't know. Everyone has their opinions on relationships and recovery. I know I have an opinion about it, and it's based off of what
Hey,
I
that's the
think.
closest I ever been to, man.
I can't
Yeah.
say though. I mean,
I
me-
didn't. When I lost
Go
my
ahead.
dad, I wasn't about to get high.
right? No,
There was even OxyContin that I had to get rid of. I had
Yeah.
to crush it up and put it in a syringe and squirt it into his mouth.
think of
You know what I'm
that.
saying? And like,
Think of that.
I didn't-
Oh, and that was your jam.
yeah. Well, I mean, and here's the thing: is that like, there was a thought after, even
Was
after,
the thought more like I could have did that, or was the thought
no,
like,
it
ooh, that
was,
looks good?
They ordered some stronger ones, right? Some stronger oxys, and they were in the capsule, right? So they would, they would digest quicker,
Right.
right? So of course, my addict, I was like, well, fuck, and then it was still on its way, right? So my dad had passed at about 1:15 or 1:27 p.m.,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the new med came at like 4:00, right? So there was a thought. Of course, I thought.
What was it though?
But-
The thought was like I could use this, or it's like
I was like, man, wouldn't it be nice? But then
Oh.
I was like, that's just not an option.
right.
You know what I mean? It's just not an option. But so the difference between that and like a relationship was like, dude, like I feel terrible and I don't want to feel this anymore.
That's the
You
difference.
know what I mean?
No,
Like,
that.
and don't
Yes.
get me wrong, like losing my pops was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. And then and of course I lost the relationship 2 weeks later, right? But the thing is like especially like for me, it was like I got into recovery and I thought that like, this is what it was gonna look like.
Yeah.
I was gonna have the white picket fence, I was gonna meet a girl, fall in love, have a kid, have two.
Expectations.
You know what I mean? Harley in the garage, fire pit in the back, career this, blah, 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 and then like when I felt that was there, and then, I got
Dick
dumped.
punched.
Basically, dick punched, dude. But it was like that's probably some of the most painful shit you.
I always felt like it was a.
I know for me it is, dude. Like that's why I don't do it anymore. It's terrible, man. Like that's probably one of the worst feelings in the world, especially when you actually think like, oh, this is gonna be forever.
Yeah.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
That's when I said this, and I shared it at that meeting. Is like I felt not a disservice, but almost disrespectful to my brother's memory was, and I share about it all the time. Like I was more hurt and going through
Yeah.
it over the loss of a relationship than when I lost my brother. My brother, like 40 years, my older brother, I love him, close. And I was more heartbroken over the loss of a girl than I was over the
Right.
death of my, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, damn, in a way I share about, like, I feel like that was disrespectful and a disservice to my brother's memory, but he'd be sitting here laughing at me and I already know, but that's because of recovery. I walked through a death without even thinking of getting high. That shit was right in front of you. So that's a little different, Bobby. Like that would have been tricky.
Well, it was a thought, but it was like
Fleeting.
I didn't have the feeling that like I don't want to feel this. I was just like, wow,
Yeah,
this
it was
is heavy, and
Yeah.
but it was like that was like what like something, especially if I wasn't like working a program like that's God right there.
Oh,
You know what I'm
shit.
saying? Like, you know, us addicts.
God gave us
yeah,
that.
we'll come up with some shit. You know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, you know, because I'm, you know, we're addicts, man. You know, and but like the thing, like yeah, with the relationship, man, I think, man, it's almost like a drug. You know, like all the oxytocin and like, you know, I can remember like, you know, the loss of a relationship and feeling like I was spun out all night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, because I can't sleep, I can't eat. You know what I mean? It's like I'm on dope. You know what I mean?
Oxytocin. I've never heard that. I like
Well,
that.
that's the hormone that's released. You know, when you're in love.
Oh, I thought you meant like oxy. Oh, I'm tossing in bed all night.
that's
Oxytocin.
That's the love hormone.
I-
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin is the word I've heard. I thought you were making like, oh, I'm tossing all night.
No,
No,
like what
that's
drug?
the-
Oxytocin.
that feeling in my body, like
Yeah,
not
no.
being, it's weird, man.
Yeah.
It was like, dude, it was like manic. Like I remember like ending relationships in my early recovery. Well, I didn't end them; they ended, unfortunately.
Whatever.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But like, I remember like I couldn't sleep, and I felt like I just got done fucking smoking some dope.
That sucks.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap up pretty quick. So highlights you service work and going to conventions. Are you going to Gopher State?
I am thinking about it.
Oh, you going?
That means you're
Yeah, you're
going. Yeah,
going,
you
yeah.
gotta go. You gotta go.
Okay, I guess
Yeah.
I'm going.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
So we're gonna already start doing wrap up stuff. But before I do, is there anything you want to say to the audience before we wrap? Because you did tell your story. We had some people like say thank you because what you shared was some hard stuff. It's not comfortable to share about going through family court and your mom being where she was and you having to make all these choices on your own and sexual assault and a lot of people like there's support out there for you. A lot of women popped on like sorry that you went through that. A lot of guys, whatever. Sorry you went through that. Sexual assault fucking sucks. And that guy should have been castrated, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not a judge, but I will judge that situation. Dude should have been castrated, whatever. I'm sorry you had to deal with it. Hopefully your recovery can help you get through it.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say before I get into some wrap up stuff?
Just if you're out there looking to start sobriety or whatnot, give it a chance. Come check out meetings, get involved, reach out to people. That's the best thing. I mean, there for a while, I thought that I had to do it, me, myself, and I, and it's not. It's a we program. And the first 11 steps all have we in the beginning of them. So that's what we got to remember is it's not me. There's no big I and little you. We're all the same. And reach out, ask for help.
That's what's up. What do you tell a woman dealing with sexual assault? What do you tell her? And especially with the terrible way you went through what you went through.
I would tell her that to get into therapy. I'm looking at getting into therapy myself,
Okay.
but it would be to surround yourself with supportive people, female, male, whatever. Just get into some sort of support group or females that you can connect with and just talk that shit through, because if you keep it inside, it's going to eat you alive.
Thank you. I think that's important. Pick a number 1 through 90.
44.
44. The zombie apocalypse is coming. Who do you want with you?
God.
Damn, that's a D. That's best. Bobby,
Boom, mic drop.
the zombie apocalypse is coming.
God.
All right. Hey, all right. Pick a number 1 through 100.
86.
86. Did you see that toss flip? And I
Yeah,
caught it?
it's nice.
86. You can have an ultimate supply of one thing for the rest of your life. What is that ultimate supply? You have one item you can have an unlimited supply of.
So, like, does that mean? No, I'm not gonna say that one. No, but so does that mean that that's all you have?
No, but no, you still got your whole life. But at my house, I have an unlimited supply of this. I know what mine is. Money.
Oh well, yeah, dude, that's pretty easy.
Well, I think that would be the easy answer,
Yeah.
right? It says here, let me reread it. You can have an unlimited supply of one
Definitely
thing
money.
for the
We
rest of
should-
your life. Yeah,
We
money,
should just
right?
get rid of that question in general.
You know what? You're right. Boom. There, I'm gonna start marking off questions because some of these are just lame. Yep, look at that. I blew it out. Pick a number 1 through 100. We're gonna do a couple of these. The audience loves them.
22.
Hey, Natalie, what would you have? 22. Okay. I think money's everyone's answer now that we put that out there.
Yeah.
22. Because everything else can come after that, especially
Yep.
what I said. All right. If you could be
You're stupid.
if you could this is the longest one of the longest. If you could be cast in a movie of your choice, what movie would you choose and what character would you play?
I actually don't know. I haven't really thought about that.
I don't think a lot of us think about I want to be in that movie and be that character.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite movie? One of your top 10s? Like what's a movie you like?
You don't remember? I just went.
I know your mind is like,
Let's see.
It'd probably be
Oh.
Sound of Music or like Sister Act 2.
would you be Whoopi?
Yeah.
Bobby, come on.
I'm not gonna answer that one. I declined that one.
He went to a porno. I guarantee it. His head went to a porno. Hey, and yeah,
So did yours, motherfucker.
I know it did. Mine did. But then no, it didn't.
It did.
I was thinking Doctor Strange. Like I want to have his
Get out of here.
powers.
Get out
All
of here
right.
with that.
Pick a number 1 through 100.
22.
Those. If you could be cast in a movie of your choice,
You just picked it, bro.
then pick a number. Yeah, you dope.
18.
18.
You're right. I love it.
Tell us about a unique or a quirky habit of yours. Over here on the left.
You're stupid. A quirky habit?
A quirky what was it? 18. Tell us a unique or quirky habit of yours.
I kind of knead my fingers. Like I'll squeeze my fingers together like a cat. Like a cat does it.
Yeah.
Right?
You just sit and do this.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do that.
Huh. What's a quirky
Yeah.
habit of yours?
Drumming.
Oh, I didn't hear you do that once tonight. Pick a number 1 to 100.
18.
Yeah.
16.
16. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
The weirdest thing would probably be clams.
Clams. Ugh. Although I have had some good clams. Go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead, Bobby. Bubbo.
What
What's
was
the weirdest thing you have ever eaten?
I don't remember, man. Like I'm sure I probably ate some weird stuff over the years. You know, what's that squid? Is that weird? Like it's got a
Mine-
weird texture.
Mine is seaweed. I thought it was gonna be so nasty, and then I had some. I was like,
Squid? Yeah, I think I ate like a squid. right? Or
just
not
the
squid, what-
texture
what
of
is it?
calamari.
Octopus.
Yeah,
Octopus. I
The
think.
textures.
I think it was, yeah, really
it doesn't
weird.
sound good. You're like,
Mm. I don't do seafood.
yeah,
Love seafood.
yeah. I don't mind seafood at all. Crab legs, oh, king crab legs. I'm hungry.
Lobster?
I'm hungry. Does that have good protein?
What?
Fish has good
Fish
protein.
is great. Protein.
What about like crab legs or lobster? Is there protein in
lobster?
that?
Yeah.
All right, Robbie, pick a number 1 through 100.
18.
No, you shithead.
32.
32. No, that's stupid. What's a skill you learned when you were young that you still use today?
A skill that I learned when I was young, I still use today.
I was thinking skateboarding.
Yeah, but I don't. It's been a long time since the skateboard.
I was fun.
Manipulation.
Manipulation. That's A. What's a
Humor. Probably humor.
humor?
Yeah.
She said drumming.
Right. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
If you were arrested, no, that's silly. If you could have dinner with any one person, living or dead, who would it be?
Oh God, there's a couple of people.
And the questions too. If you could have any two people, living or dead, who would it be?
Whitney and
Whitney Houston.
Yes.
Nice.
And
Jesus.
probably Kurt Cobain.
Nice. Babo.
What's that?
if you could have dinner, if you could hang out and have dinner with any two people, living or dead, who would it be? 1 hour dinner.
Probably Robert De Niro. Probably Johnny Depp.
Really?
That dude's awesome just because he's such a fuck.
See, I was thinking for sure like Jesus and God. One of those guys would have to be.
Well,
at the
I'm gonna have to, I'll meet him when I'm done anyway. So
You're right. He's like, I'm gonna have all the dinners I want when I'm done.
You know what I mean?
All right. Attitude for gratitude. What's your gratitude look like?
Going to meetings and helping other people out and keeping my program first.
That's what. Keep that in mind. Bobby, tell me about your gratitude.
What do you mean? What about it?
Do you have an attitude for gratitude? And if you
Always.
do, what's your gratitude look like?
What am I grateful for? You mean?
Yeah.
Life, recovery, the gym, health, vision, feet, legs, cars, bikes,
Feet, legs, cars, bikes, cars, motorbikes. When you get a sec, look at what I sent you and look what the caption was when I sent it.
Yeah, taking a
But that was like, yeah, that was like an hour into the show. I don't get it. Whatever. All right. Well, you know what the time is. Dana,
Bye-bye.
thank you for coming. Again, you shared about some things and like they weren't easy to share about. Thank you for that. Would you be willing to come back on and do another show if it ever came up?
Of course.
All right, Bobby, you will? You'd be willing to come back on and do another show?
Of course, bro.
For you guys out there, if you're struggling, please reach out.
Do it.
You're worth it. Like you heard us, you've heard people go through it and they're back in the rooms. Fight for your recovery. Come on down to Will Work. They're going to be banging out, partying, and for the next 2-3 hours. So come on down here if you're just hearing this. It's what is it? Like 8 something? Like it's what time is it, Dana?
8:15.
8:15. You got 3 hours of fun down here. Come on down, get involved. You're loved. Till next time. Adios.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you. Bye.